Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to the vocoder inside MeloVox. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, we are inside AUM, so we click on the plus sign, we create an audio channel. So I'm going to show you a little bit how to configure it as well. So it is an effect, a vocal harmony effect. So we go to the insert effects, we click plus, and we search for MeloVox. So we start to type M-E-L, there it is. As you can see, it loads up very quickly. Then we go to the audio source. We're going to use the same audio source we used in the previous tutorial. So a file player, and we are going to choose something that I create with vSynth. We set it as a loop, and we also normalize it. Up here, you can see the change in amplitude. Okay, perfect. So we open MeloVox, and we maximize the window. As you know, at the moment, if I press play, I will have that vocal sample which is playing, and then I have it now set in auto sense, and therefore you will hear two additional voices for harmony.
Life is knowledge is the future is here with you.
Remember to always check if it is speaking. It was speaking a moment ago, so I reduced the main output. Okay, so let's go to the menu here, and we select any preset, and we say yes. Perfect. Then next we're going to click on vocoder. Okay. Now vocoder is enabled. If let's reduce again the main output, let's click play.
Life is knowledge is the future.
So you don't hear any difference at the moment, and that is because we haven't selected yet any additional option for the vocoder. By the way, there is a fantastic explanation of how the vocoder works inside the menu. Click here in the hamburger menu, then go to help manual, and you will find right here a section which says vocoder. It gives you a bit of an explanation where it comes from, how it is utilized a little bit. Okay, it's based on a modulator signal, as it says here, which then is split into different bands, which I show you in the moment, then sent to a band pass filter, and then those bands are ultimately used to modulate a carrier. Okay, and then underneath here it gives you all the different parameters which I'm going to show you in a moment. But to start with, you can actually use it with an internal carrier or also with an external carrier, and I will show you both of them. Okay, and here you have the different parameters. The internal carrier, which is using a saw level plus some noise. Then you have the ability to add a sub bass and also to replace any sibilants in the original vocal with some additional white noise. You can control the envelope follower as well, change the output, and of course the 12 band sliders underneath here. Okay, so let's close the help. Now to access that menu, you need to click and hold here on vocoder, and there it is. Now you can press here on the play. Okay, press play again.
The future is here with you. Life is knowledge is the.
So, you know, you can hear that now it is active. I have adjusted a little bit the output. It is set to use the internal carrier, and therefore you can make the adjustment here. So, for example, let's give it a bit of the sine sub.
The future is here with you. Life is knowledge is the future.
You can also hear that the original voice is still there. It's because you have these setting here, which is still enabled. Click on it to disable it. And of course, you can change into different level. Let me show you a little bit here. The future is here with you. A big difference is, of course, when you add some noise. The future is here with you. Life is knowledge is the. So now I disabled here the vocoder is not playing anymore, and therefore you don't hear it, unless of course I press the original here. In this case you will hear the original vocal.
Life is knowledge.
Okay, so remember that you need to have that harmony on for that effect to be heard. Now, you can change additional band levels here as well. So let's try.
Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here.
As well, you can change here the envelope folder in terms of how long it takes to actually release and decay.
Future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future.
This button here is to reset. You can see you reset all the different controls, which is great. Now, there is another way to run it, and it is to use an external carrier. So you click here for an external carrier, and then you need to provide this external carrier. Now, at the moment, the file player is still playing. It doesn't matter. So let's click on the plus sign and create an audio channel. Let's use ISIM to generate that carrier sound, okay, which is then modulated by those bands which are going through a bandpass filter from the modulator, which is this file player here. Okay, so now to activate it, go to Insert Effects, click on the plus sign, and go for a multibus audio unit instance. And this is what you need in order to capture the audio that is coming, of course, from ISIM. In order to do that, you need to enable ISIM to produce sound, so you connect it to a MIDI source like the internal keyboard, but it could also be an external MIDI controller. Let's choose that drama strings, but you can choose different type of audio sources in the 4 presets, in this case for ISIM. Let's mute this channel as well, because we don't want to hear any audio coming from ISIM. We want to hear the audio being as a vocoder on top of this vocal. So now that we have established that, we go back to MeloVox, and we just resize it so we see the keyboard underneath. So okay, let's decrease the release. The beauty of this, of course, is that you can also play some chords.
Knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you.
And of course, if instead of having a file player here, you add a microphone, then of course you can sing along and you will capture your voice, of course, and then you play chord directly here or through a MIDI controller, and then you have your classical vocoder. Now let's listen to what happens when we change the preset and therefore the type of carrier. Okay, so I'm going to play a chord, I'm going to set it to hold, and then I'm going to change the preset.
Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you.
Oops, I need to reset the chords here.
Is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future.
So you can hear when you change the preset, it doesn't have the MIDI signal, so you have to reestablish. So the quick way is here to disable the hold, re-enable, and then press the notes to activate a chord again. But again, you don't have to do this if you're using an external MIDI controller, right? You just press a chord using your fingers, your hands on the MIDI controller.
The future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is.
Equally, you could do something else as well. You can go and create a MIDI channel here, and let's bring in something like chord bud, like so, and then drive ISIM through chord bud. Then we go inside chord bud, and let's create some chord, something simple like so. It doesn't really matter, just to show you the concept.
The future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge. The future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you. Life is knowledge, knowledge is the future is here with you.
I quite like this one, and of course, remember you can go back inside MeloVox, and you could, for example, add some other effects. Let's remove that keyboard and let's maximize the window again. Let's add some reverb.